welcome back, everyone, for another episode of the Wednesday Watch List. This is my weekly look ahead to all the new comic books coming out this Wednesday, New Comic Book Day, May 21st, 2025. I'm going to give you a rundown on all the books on my pull list, some variants you should keep your eye on, and just basically anything you should be aware of before you go to your shop this Wednesday to pick up your new books. Hopefully you're enjoying this series as well as everything else here on the channel. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure that you like, you subscribe, you hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can grow on the channel. And if you want to see this week's rundown, don't worry, I got you covered. I'm going to run it right after this short little intro. All right, well, let's just get started and hit up directly with my pull list. This is my personal pull list, books that are at the top of my pile, things I just can't wait to get a hold of when I go get my books this Wednesday, and things I'm looking forward to read, etc. And starting off that list, we are going to go over to the DC side of things in the Absolute universe because, to my surprise, one of my favorite Absolute titles actually is Absolute Flash. Pleasantly surprised by this title so far, so I am looking forward to issue 3. Got more of the rogues coming in our way. Cover A here. We've got a couple of cover options for you to choose from. We got a B cover as well as a C cover, and then we'll even got some incentives if you're interested in those. We got a 1 in 25 as well as a 1 in 50, which is a virgin version of one of those B covers actually. So again, if you want the incentives, you can generally find these for ratio or less. Nothing doing as far as pre-sale go actions as far as I can see so far, but these are your choices for the covers for Absolute Flash issue 3. Now, another series I was surprised that I've enjoyed as much as I have is this book at an Image, and that is Bug Wars. We're getting near the end of this first arc with issue 4. I think it's running 6 thereabouts, I want to say. But with that, I'm looking forward to getting our next issue here. And we've got cover A and only a cover B option here. So basically, pick which one you like better. I think they're both very nice in their own way. One's very colorful, one's very muted, but both of them I think are actually very well done as far as art goes. So I'm be happy with either of these personally. I'll just grab whichever one, kind of jumps out at me more when I'm grabbing off the shelf on Wednesday. Now, to my surprise, again, here's another title. Again, a lot of this stuff isn't things I would have expected to be added to my pull list or the things I was actually looking forward to most, but here's another surprise to me, and that is Moonshine Bigfoot. Yes, it's only issue 2 out of 4. It's going to be a 4-issue series. It's just a weird, crazy, silly kind of title in the vein of Shirtless Bear Fighter. And if you guys have seen that trailer for that new the Kung Fury movie, which hopefully they actually end up making, it would be phenomenal. Just outright nonsense, silliness, nostalgia, all that good stuff. I don't know. I liked it so far. And we got a nice little Star Wars kind of homage here on the front. But only one cover here for this issue. So issue 2, one option. It's pretty good. I can't wait to get this and keep reading this thing and check out more of Buzzard County. Now, moving on from my pull list, Amazing Spider-Man has been good so far, again, to my surprise. I'm still enjoying it. Looking forward to more Hobgoblin action here. And we've got issue 4 coming our way this week. I really wish this wasn't as published as quickly and as often as it is. It's kind of exhausting me having to read this book like every couple of weeks. I'd rather just go monthly, but it is what it is. I get it. Spider-Man, Marvel, they're trying to push to get to that 1,000. They'll get there soon enough, but they're really running us ragged here by publishing Spider-Man so often. I just really wish they would just slow it down and make us appreciate it every month rather than give it to us every 2 weeks. I know people are saying, how could you be mad about getting more comics? Just pacing. Pacing is fine. There's a lot of stuff I want to read. That said, cover A option here. There is a B cover here as well. There's going to be some other covers I'm not covering here. As you guys know, we got a lot of other segments coming up later in the show, so we'll get to them there. But as far as the ones that don't fit those extra criteria, we also have a 1 in 25 option here as well by Greg Land, featuring an old school look at Hobgoblin. Now, before we move on to the next segment, I want to remind any of you out there who haven't tried Whatnot before, use my link below to sign up and get $15 off your first purchase. $15, you help out the channel, you get yourself a few bucks to spend on something, whatever you want with whomever you want. No strings attached, just to give the app a try if you haven't tried it already. Now, with that said, I'm going to move on to my personal recommendation of the week, and this is going to be a book that I think you guys should be picking up. Now, It's going to kind of be kind of dicey how often I can keep recommending things. But for now, there's still a lot of good stuff that I think you guys should be reading. And one of those things is Epitaphs from the Abyss. This was actually a viewer suggestion a few issues back, and it's kind of captured me. I really like the fantasy version of this more so than the horror one, but that said, it's got a classic kind of easy horror vibe to it in that anthology format where you just read a nice short little story, nice little bite-sized chunks, and you can just enjoy a quick little story, and you get 3 or 4 of them in every issue. So it's just a good format, and it's something that I'm really enjoying. Granted, this run is almost over. This is the penultimate issue, issue 11. It's going to wrap up with issue 12, but hopefully we get some more of these in the future. Also, this cover by Lee Bermejo is just awesome. It's one of my favorites this week, if not my favorite. But this is the cover A. Cover B is solid as well. It kind of reminds me of Wednesday Addams quite a bit, especially with all the hands. It's like the thing. But yeah, just cool cover, cool stuff here. We also got a 1 in 10 option, which takes that old school horror V mixed with EC horror kind of vibe a little bit. And then we do have a 1 in 20. As well as a 1 in 50 option if you're looking for those. So once again, if you want the incentives, you can generally find them for ratio or less. Personally, I'm good with A or B, but I'm leaning more towards A, I think, at this point. Now, outside of the recommendations of things I'm telling you guys to read, I'm going to make recommendations for myself to read and try out some new stuff that is coming out this week, and that is going to be my taste test. Granted, taste test is not always new number ones. Sometimes it could be series that I've dropped that I want to go dip back in and see how they're doing lately. But for this week, a couple of new number ones that I want to give a try that may not be what I normally read. So with that said, let's get first and cover what I talked about last week as far as the taste test goes and tell you what I thought. And what I challenged myself to read last week was Supergirl. So we got Supergirl number 1 last week, getting ready for the new movie, etc., revamping Supergirl. And while the art was really solid in sort of an anime, cartoonish kind of vibe, which I dug and I think fits this title well, the storyline itself just was all right. It's just not exactly for me. I mean, granted, I'm not the target audience, I don't think, for this book, but it was okay. I'm not going to say it was terrible. It's just not really a book for me. So I'm just kind of in that meh kind of stage. So we'll see. Maybe I'll take a look at issue 2, but it's not a title that I'm like, oh man, this was the greatest thing ever. It's just, yeah, it's okay. But again, I don't feel like I'm the target audience for Supergirl, at my age. Now, with that said, this week, a title that I'm going to take a look at in the realm of that Bigfoot book is Road Wolf. Yeah. We're getting more and more of this independent creator, crazy, wacky nonsense, and I'm telling you, I'm in it. I'm into it, in a Murder Falcon kind of way. It's just, give me this craziness. I don't care. So Road Wolf from Dark Horse coming out, only cover. So you only got one to worry about here. I'm just going to take a look at this. As we got bank robbers. We got a character named Colonel Massacre. There's kidnappings, ninjas, cannibals, robots. I don't know. It's going to be a wild ride. I'll take a look. Granted, not all of them are going to be great, but I'm kind of in that mood. Like I said, after that Kung Fury trailer, Kung Fury 2 or whatever trailer, it's got me in that kind of wacky mode in my head. So I'm looking forward to this. Outside of that, another title that I don't normally read because I'm not a Fantastic Four reader, but I'm looking forward to checking out The Thing. Tony Fleece is writing this, friend of the channel. He's doing this title, so I'm going to give this a shot, and I'm looking forward to giving this a try. So Thing is not a character, again, that I normally read or normally follow, but on his own in a solo title, I think I might be more into it than, say, the more familial aspects of Fantastic Four that they kind of go with. So I think I might be more of a fan of the solo title here. But we'll see. I got to give it a try, give it a test to see what I think of it. But we got a new number 1 coming out this week. Cover A, Bradshaw. Got a cover B option there as well. Then we've got a C option if you like that one. And then there's also a 1 in 25, which is pretty cool in that classic kind of Thing kind of vibe. I kind of really dig that 1 in 25. And then we do have a 1 in 100, which is a virgin version of one of the open order covers. So if you're into that Marvel way of doing the 1 in 100, go for it. Again, ratio or less on most of these books, so no need to go chasing anything just yet. Now, with that said, any of you out there who need supplies, Use my code RENA10 to save yourself 10% off your entire BCW order. You need bags, you need boards, you need short boxes, long boxes, CGC boxes, top loaders, pages for your cards, top loaders for your cards. Basically, anything you need to keep your comics or collectibles safe. BCW probably has a product that you're probably going to be buying anyway. So if you're going to buy that stuff, you might as well save money while you do it. Use that code RENA10 to save yourself 10% off your entire order. You help out the channel, you get yourself a discount. Again, nothing to lose there. So, with that all said, speaking of things we got to do, let's get into my next segment, which is writing it out. These are normally titles that are still part of my pull list, but they may be books that I'm a little behind on reading, or some series that I'm just going to be getting regardless through to the end. Could be a mini series or an arc, etc., where I'm just saying, you know what, I'm riding this thing out to the end, even if I'm behind or not, or maybe not even loving it 100%, just to give the title a shot. So, with that said, what are we riding out this week? Well, this week we are going to start off with Batman and Robin. Now, once again, Batman and Robin year one, it's a long run. I believe it's about 12 issues. And again, Wade, Samney, I'm a little behind on reading it, but this is the kind of stuff that I do like reading more like in one run. It's just we're getting it monthly. This is something I really like to read monthly. I like to read this in larger chunks, and I'm just kind of saving it, and then I'm going to just read this thing out once I got all of them, because again, I'm confident in the creators. I like the subject matter, so I'm on board to ride this thing out into the end. Cover A option here. There is also a B, which is pretty cool. It's kind of has that Dark Knight kind of throwback vibe with the Robin posing. Like, what's her name? I can't remember the other Robin's name, but it really gives me that that kind of vibe. And then we've got another cover here for a C cover, also kind of classic type stuff, and a 1 in 25 here as well if you want to go the ratio angle. Once again, well below ratio. You can probably grab this if you want it. Now, another title that I've had this one on the fence, and I've just decided we're like halfway through this story arc, so I'm just going to ride this thing out at this point. And that is the We Are Yesterday storyline with the Legion of Doom and the Justice League. This is Batman and Superman, World's Finest, crossing over with Justice League Unlimited. I kept having this thing as like, well, I'm on the fence. It's not really, I haven't been loving Justice League Unlimited, but you know what? At this point, again, this is part 4. I'm just going to see this thing through because I think it's 7 parts. So I'm already at the halfway point. I might as well just ride it out, right? So that's my plan. More Legion of Doom stuff, Justice League action. Looks like we're getting some multi-universal type of stuff also included here, just going off the cover. But a couple of cover options here as well. That's the cover A, which is a connector. I'll show you that in a minute. Cover B, I believe that's a Perillo. Really solid stuff with, you know, Batman and Superman and their arch nemesis. Nemesis? Whatever. And then there is also a C cover here as well, as far as open order goes. And then there is obviously a 1 in 25 because DC does do that as well. So we got a 1 in 25 here, which is kind of cool, but I don't love this. It's all right. But I mean, I kind of like the Ben-Day dots and the kind of cartoony pop in the back. But outside of that, it's okay. I'll probably lean towards the cover A as it goes with a connector. Then again, the Perillos ain't bad either, so I might go B. Not sure. But here's the connecting cover. It will connect with next week's part and next week's issue, which will be Justice League Unlimited number 7. As you can see, boom, this will be a 2-part connecting set. The last 2 parts also connected, so they're kind of going like a similar kind of vibe here with that. Now, another title, honestly, I'm just behind on reading it. But I do like Detective Comics because I like seeing Batman more as a detective. And, you know, that's not really the 100% angle that the Detective Comics has. It's just, I don't know, it's just a title and a run that I'm a little behind on reading, but I'm still going to keep getting them for now. And Dangerous New Day dawns in Gotham following, you know, the Asima? I kept wanting to say Asthma. I don't know why. It's the way her name is written. I just keep wanting to read it as Asthma. But pretty cool cover A here. I think it's a Janin. And then we do have a B option, which is also, oh, darn it. There's that G.I. Joe from last week. I thought I got rid of them all, but I missed one. But this Chris Stevens is a really good cover here as well. It's really got like an Alex Ross kind of vibe with that kind of classic nature and the gargoyles and jumping down. And then we do have a C cover here as well, which is okay. You kind of have that shadow of asthma behind him. Sorry, I just can't get the name out of the head. 1 in 25 option here as well, if you want to go that route. But once again, ratio or less, definitely less if you can find it. New Gods is another title I'm riding it out. This one I was on the fence for a while about, but I do like Ram V. And while the New Gods is, again, not really my normal cup of tea, this is another thing that I feel like I can't read monthly. I got to read it in larger chunks. And this goes back to a lot of titles I feel are like that. Especially with the New God type stuff, like the Mr. Miracle run, read better, like in a longer run than it did on a monthly to me. So I'm just going to give this one the benefit of the doubt and just going to ride this out. So here we go. Issue 6 coming. B cover option here as well. It's not too bad. And there is a C cover option for you to choose from. I'll probably just go with the A, but any of these are fine. No incentive here to worry about. So pick whichever of these covers you like and keep up with your New Gods. Now, another title slightly behind. I think I'm only like an issue or so behind, but Redcoat is... It's not my top Ghost Machine title. In fact, I'm waiting for Rook to come back, but it is still good. And Hyde Street's probably my favorite right now. But Redcoat, I still enjoy it in that kind of Eternal Warrior kind of vibe, kind of way. And we're getting the next issue here, issue 12. 3 covers. So here's 1, there's 2, here's 3. Pick whichever one you like. Like I said, I'm going to keep up with this one. I do like Ghost Machine. Only a couple titles I have left on the shelf, and this is not one of them. So I'll keep this one on the pull for now. With that said, wrapping up, and this is one that I wrote out, this Red Band Daredevil Unleash Hell storyline. So it'll be wrapping up now with issue 5, and then we can call it a day, and then I don't have to get this anymore. Not to say that I didn't like this. It's just, it was all right with the Muse and the new Muse, etc. It just wasn't really my favorite thing, but I felt like I'd gotten so far into the storyline, I had to just see it to the end. So let's see how they wrap it up. And maybe I feel differently than a meh kind of vibe. We'll see. Issue 5, Polybag, Red Band, 2 covers, 1 and 2. Pick which one you like better. I'm fine with either, honestly. And we'll see how they decide to wrap up this miniseries. Also got to put in writing out is Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, because I've fallen behind on reading my Moon Knight, but I do really like Moon Knight. I'm thankful there's only one title for me to have to keep up with these days, and I just can't even keep up with that, so I'm still going to keep riding this thing out. So issue 8, got to catch up. Couple options here, cover A, cover B. No incentives to worry about and then we'll move on because there might be other covers in later segments, as I mentioned before with Spider-Man, but it's not just Spider-Man. Now, with that said, those are things I'm definitely still going to get. The next section, things that I'm on the fence about. These could be dropped at any time. I could add them and write them out, or I could just decide to put them and say I'm out and keep them on the shelf. We'll see. But these are books that I'm on the fence about. On the fence about this week, well, let's see. I got one title, and it's Zatanna. This one, I think I might even said I was out at one point because I didn't like Zatanna as a solo character as much. And she does have a decent, supporting cast here when you got Blue Devil in the mix and whatnot. I'm not loving it, but we're at the point where I think it's only like a mini series that I might have to just see this thing through. But I'm not 100% in committing to that, even at issue 4. So we'll see. So I'm on the fence still with Zatanna. Usually I've been putting these things in the cheesecake cover section, but you know what? I decided to reevaluate how I'm doing the covers, so you'll see a bit later what I mean. But cover A, cover B, the Ben Oliver's pretty good. I like that. And I like the kind of classic, kind of nostalgic kind of poster vibe you get there. And then I think Miguel Mercado did this one, which is also pretty fun with her head being, it's like a magic trick. And then the 1 at 25 here is also not bad. I kind of like it. So there are your options. Pick whichever one you like best and then keep rolling with it. With that said, these are books that I'm not on the fence about anymore. I'm out. Luckily, well, maybe luckily or unluckily for my LCS, there's nothing that I'm dropping. Nothing that I'm dropping this week. Nothing specifically that I'm already out on. So we'll see. We'll see if we add anything to the I'm out section in the future. But for now, nothing new being added to left on the shelf, which is what we have next. These are books that I'm personally not picking up, but we should all be aware of what's going on in the comic world. And I know there's titles that you guys like that I might not be grabbing. So I just want to, kind of cater to more for people and cover some things that, even though I'm not reading it, doesn't mean it's not good or we shouldn't keep up with what's going on there. So with that said, let's look at the pile of stuff I got here that I leave on the shelf this week. And again, if I shouldn't be, tell me in the comments below. I'll take your recommendations and give a title a shot if I'm leaving it behind and I shouldn't be. Because one of those things I'm kind of curious about, and I might enjoy it, but I just decided early on I can't keep buying this. And this is Sonic and DC. Seems like a fun crossover miniseries, but as soon as I found out it was going to be like a 6-issue mini, I was like, I don't know if I'm up for 6. Grabbed the first issue and it was okay, and seeing them kind of pair up, but I didn't know how long I wanted to ride this thing out, so I didn't keep going with it. So I left it on the shelf early. If I was wrong, and this is a really fun read, please tell me in the comments below. But cover A option here, also a B. No incentive to worry about, so I guess pick which one you like better. Out of this group, I think I like the A because you got the Sonic characters all dressed up like their superhero counterparts that they're kind of partnered up with. Then again, I mean, the other one's not bad either. But like I said, I'm just not picking it up right now. Just like I'm not currently picking up Nightwing. I liked Nightwing at times. I've been in and out, jumped on board, jumped off board. I tried to give this a shot a couple of months ago, I think, or a couple issues ago, and there was this weird gang of fly people, and I was like, it's not really for me, so I'm not in. Then again, maybe something new is happening and I should get back on board again. Tell me below if I am wrong. So Nightwing 126 cover A. A lot of covers here. Cover B here as well. Not too bad. Got a lot of doves and a John Woo kind of vibe. Francavilla with a nice cover here. I don't know, I kind of like it. It's just kind of classic kind of vibe to it. And then one of my favorite covers of the week is the 1 in 25. I love this graffiti on the wall and the side of the building. It's kind of just telling a story. I don't know. I just dig it. I dig it a lot. So the 1 in 25 is one of my favorites. Even though it's being left on the shelf, I might not leave that on the shelf. I might actually pick this up just on its own. With that said, I'm not keeping up with Titans. Now, I like Teen Titans. I like the Go Teen Titans Go. But I'm just not currently keeping up with the Titans storyline right now. So this is one, again, on the shelf. Cover A. We got a B cover option here as well as a C cover option. And I don't think there is any incentive to worry about. Just A, B, or C. Out of this group, I'll probably go with the C. You got the ladies. I'll go with that one. Even though I'm a big X fan, I've told you multiple times, this was one I just didn't capture me, and I was out quickly. Exceptional X-Men just didn't feel like it was for me, and I just wasn't loving it, so I stopped pretty early on. But it's still going out there. I do like Sinister, so they got my attention with Mr. Sinister being in there, but I don't know. I don't know if I can go back. Cover A option here, and there's a B as well. Choose which one you like. We'll keep it rolling with The Incredible Hulk, which, again, was another title. I was on board for a while, and then I just kind of lost, and interest just kind of waned over time. I felt like maybe the pacing was running a little too slow. I don't know. It just wasn't, I wasn't loving it anymore. So I unfortunately had to leave it on the shelf, despite the fact that I had to pick it up when we hit our anniversary legacy 800th issue. Now I think we're at 806, so we're 6 months removed from that, but we're still got more Hulk action coming our way each month. Here's your cover A. There is a, I guess we're going to be getting some of these classic covers just randomly thrown in there. I don't know why we're getting a Hulk 181 homage here on this title, considering he's fighting Thor, but okay, whatever. And here's a 1 in 25 for you as well. Again, there's other covers. We'll get to them later. Not bad 1 in 25, but again, I'm not really in on this title right now. Just like I'm not in on all the Star Wars stuff anymore. I used to get every Star Wars title out there, and now that I've got short box after short box of all these Star Wars books that I just could not keep up on reading, I decided I had to just start leaving some stuff on the shelf, because unless I hear that it's really good, I just can't get everything. And the Legacy of Vader is one I was like, okay, I don't know if I really want this. We'll see. Maybe I'll get it in trade, but it's just not something I'm grabbing. I just can't. It's just money, you know, comes down to money, comes down to a budget. And some of this stuff had to get cut. And this was one of them. Issue 4, there's a cover. We got the 10th anniversary of The Force Awakens. Still can't believe that's 10 years old. And then we do got a C cover here as well. It's not bad. And the 1 in 25 is pretty solid, actually. I kind of like this. But still a title I'm not picking up. Nor am I getting the High Republic Fear the Jedi. It's just, again, I just couldn't keep pace. So I know the boys on Sunday cover this every week. I just can't keep up with this stuff. So High Republic issue 4, Fear of the Jedi, is sitting there on the shelf for me. Couple of covers, cover A, cover B, and then there is that Force Awakens 10-year anniversary option here as well. Another thing I don't know surprises many of you that I just decided I just wasn't keeping up with was the Ultimates. I was in early on with the Ultimates universe, but I do that with a lot of these things. Even Absolute, all these new this, new that. You get on board, you get excited, and then eventually you go, eh. And that's just kind of how I felt. I know a lot of people are loving this, and that's why I'm covering it. It's just for me, I wasn't on board to keep up. So cover A. Cover B here is really awesome. I do like this one, this In-Hyuk Lee. It's really cool. And then actually I do like the Sanford Green as well with the C cover. It's got like a classic poster kind of vibe to it. Just like kind of a throwback. I don't know. I dig it. And then there's a 1 in 25, which it's okay. I mean, you got the, Doom. So 1 in 25. And then here's another title that, again, I was out pretty early on, and that's Weapon X-Men. I don't know. It's the whole, hey, we're the toughest, the killers of the X-Men. We got Cable and we got Wolverine, and I didn't care. So 2 covers. I don't know what's with the big mech. It's like Shogun Warriors, but I don't know. I might have to take a look at this. I don't know. I see that and I go, I don't know. Maybe I'll try it. We'll see. Cover A, B cover. Those are the only 2 options. Pick whichever one you like. But again, it's just, I don't know. It just wasn't for me. So kind of left it. With that said, trying to keep this thing rolling. And we get to One World Under Doom. A lot of books again this week. So let's just get right into it. If you're keeping up with the storyline, it's not my favorite. The last issue wasn't bad of the core title, but it was just like one big fight. So the pacing has been kind of weird, where they kind of rushed through some stuff that they shouldn't have rushed through, and then they really took a lot of time with this fight, which was all right, I guess. I don't know. Just the storyline itself is just not. I'm not 100% here. I'm just kind of waiting this thing out. But there's still a lot of issues to go. With that said, this week's installments, a couple of them I'm on board for, a couple of them I like. Doom Academy, I'm enjoying. In that Strange Academy kind of way, I'm on board for this. So I'll see this one through. I like it. Cover A by Villalobos, also really awesome. There's other options if you like them. You got the character spotlight of Scoop, if you want to go with Scoop. We got another option here, another option here. And then we've got a 1 in 50, which will take the trade dress off of this guy. And there's your virgin version there, if you want that. Okay. Also, Fantastic Four, deep in on the One World Under Doom stuff. And again, I tried to give this title another shot, and it just wasn't on its own. The FF just wasn't grabbing me. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to the thing. Looking forward to the movie. Just this title right now, just not hitting on all cylinders for me. But cover A option. We got a B cover, which is the Disney stuff, which I'm long done with. I just don't care. Personally, Saturday morning cartoons, I wish they would have done these more consistently. They're kind of fun, but I don't know why we're still getting these just on this title. It's kind of weird. And then we do have a 1 in 100, which is a black and white version of the Who Cares Disney cover. Sorry if I'm hurting your feelings. If you like these, I'm just over it at this point. After a couple of years, I get it. Goofy and Mickey dressed up like superheroes. Cool. Unnecessary stuff. More coming our way. Superior Avengers, issue 2. I might give it. I didn't love the first issue, but I'm kind of curious to read issue 2. So I'll probably give this a look. With Doom's son and this weird other universe villain crew that he's assembled. We'll see. Not a lot of options here. Cover A. There is a B, which is pretty good. I kind of like the B here, and there's a C cover option as well. No incentive to worry about, I don't believe. So you just go with these ones. Now, this Thunderbolts Doomstrike, thankfully, I think this is ending because, again, I just didn't love this miniseries. It just, I don't know. I was kind of bored by it when it started. But while this is the cover A, which is all right, the cover B here is really awesome. So this Ivan Talavera, I think it's Ivan Talavera. Regardless, this Black Widow cover is awesome. So I would consider just getting it for the cover, and I might. Also, part of the One World Under Doom is the Insurgent Iron Man. So Iron Man is part of it, as you can see by the banner, though League of Comic Geeks didn't include it in my numbering, so that's going to be a little wonky later on. But we do have a cover A option here for Iron Man, as well as this option here, which is also pretty cool. Other covers coming later. We'll see them. But here's your quick update rundown for the reading order. We've got the first 9 parts. Again, we're going back to January with this stuff. And maybe I need to cut this because it's taking a lot of time going through pages upon pages of look at all these titles that are part of this storyline. 27 parts. Can you believe it's still going? This was as of last week. We got through 35 with one missing. Well, that one missing, we get to fill it in this week because it is that Doom Academy was supposed to have come out last week, but it got delayed. And then Fantastic Four is our 36th part of this ongoing event. Granted, you don't have to read all of them. They're tie-ins. It's just this is how many titles are part and tied in to this event. And we still got 2 more to catch us up on the week. We're through 38 parts. I think we're going to go over 50 or even 60. Too many. It's a lot. It's a lot. When you think about that, if you were to buy all 60 titles and you just randomly say they're about $5 a piece, it's $300. $300 event if you read the whole thing. It's a lot of money. Just saying. Godzilla versus Marvel. You guys know, love Godzilla. Not loving these crossovers with all the characters here, but thankfully they give me a break this week. So I don't got to worry about it because the X-Men one just wasn't that great. Just wasn't. Sorry. So we've got none to worry about this week. I think we do have a Thor one coming. So we'll look forward to Thor maybe being a fun little crossover. But for now, nothing to worry about here. Moving on. New number ones. So what new number ones are we going to be picking up this week or looking at outside of the things I already talked about? Because in the taste test, I had a couple of number ones. But there's a few more big titles coming out this week that some folks might be excited for. Maybe more so than others. Let's see. First up, The Killer. Now, this is that title that Netflix made the movie about. And here is now a follow-up series. So we got a follow-up series for The Killer. I think it was out of France, actually. Oh, yeah, south of France. I think the creator's French as well. But coming out of Boom, new miniseries coming. Here's issue 1. We've got here a little bit more text explaining it. I'm not running through all of that. We got a cover A. We got a cover B. And then we've also got some virgin versions of this stuff. If you're interested, there's a version of the cover A. And then if you like the cover B, well, the virgin version is the 1 in 10. So there you go. Oh, and if you like it even more, here's a new cover for your 1 in 20. I think it's a Christian Ward. So, again, if you're into it, go and pick it up. Also, new number 1 for Ghostbusters, Dead Man's Chest. Following up on the current Ghostbuster movies, the Frozen Empire stuff, the kind of follow-up, the new team with the kids, etc. That's where we're getting in the comics. Cover A, cover B option. I don't know. Might be good. Who knows? Image. We're finally getting, this book has been talked up for a while now, The Curse of Shirley Johnson. So this is that little girl that died early on in the original Spawn run decades ago. Well, they're bringing her back for her own title because we don't have enough books in the Spawn universe these days, I guess. But here we go. Issue 1 coming out this week. Cover A. There's a blank if you want to go get some sketches. Todd has even graced us with a cover art, which we don't get all that often, which is kind of cool. I kind of like it. Honestly, I like it. There is a black and white version of that one as well if you want to go that route. So you can get the black and white art for Todd. And again, the black and white doesn't always hit for all artists, but Todd is a special case. And I'll say black and white's not bad. And then there is also a 1 in 50 incentive here, which honestly, I feel a little bit let down by this cover. I mean, imagine if the 1 in 50 was the Todd cover. I think it would be a pretty hot book this week. Even if it was the black and white one. Just saying. I don't think there's going to be a lot chasing this 1 in 50. I could be wrong. But had we moved a couple of these covers around, I bet you would have been seeing some premium pricing. That said, Sleep. New title coming out this week, also out of Image, if you want to check this out. It's kind of giving me vibes of, what was the other title that I was reading recently? Not We're Taking Everyone Down With Us, but the other one. You'll die. I can't remember. Anyway, apparently the character goes to sleep, and in his sleep, he's doing some bad stuff. So, it's a subject we might have seen before, but who knows? Might be good. Cover A, B cover here, not too bad. Pretty monstrous, kind of cool. And then we'll move on to our next book, which is Whatever Happened to Crimson Justice. I don't know. Mad Cave, I don't know what happened to Crimson Justice. A big explanation, Empire City, and all this stuff. I will say this. This cover's all right, but this Dan Panosian on the cover B has really got my attention. I like it. And then another solid cover here by Joe Quesada for cover C. Cool. Here's a title that I'm sure a lot of folks are into, but I just don't think I need another ongoing Superman title right now. But hey, we're getting it. Superman Unlimited. I get it. Dan Slott's writing it. Raphael Albuquerque doing the art. Good creative team. I'll give this a try. But like I said, this is not something I was knocking on anybody's door to get me more Superman solo books. I'm not even reading the regular Superman title right now. Even though some people told me it's good, it's just, again, time and budget. Can't get everything. But we'll see. I'll probably give this one a shot. Cover A. We got a sketch cover option, obviously, because I got to give you that blank in case you want to get your sketches at your cons. Then we got this pretty cool, the Delato, which I like. I do like it. Crypto, Superman, classic. Almost made my cut for my top 5. As did this one. I do like this classic, symbol, bullets bouncing off the chest. Really cool look. Then we got a James Gunn cover. So James Gunn and David Cornsweet gracing the cover. I thought this would have fit the movie cover, but this is actually a separate variant thing that they got going. James Gunn pop in or something. Then there's a foil. So we do got a foil here by Sozo Micah, I believe. Then we got a Frank Quietly, which ain't too bad until I wondered, what's with his hands? Like, why do his hands look like just wrinkled up sausages? Like, we don't need that much detail on the hand. You got no detail in the fabric, which just looks like he's wearing a loose underwear, but his hands are all wrinkly, like he's been in the water too long, spent too much time swimming. I don't know, but we got that cover, and then you got Lionel Francis Yu jumping right out at you, speed lines and all that stuff. Cool. 1 to 25 option here as well. Yeah, there's a lot of covers. There's a lot of covers on this one. 1 to 25 option if you want that. We got a 1 to 50 option if you want that. And we've got a 1 to 100, which will take prune fingers and take some of that trade dress off of it. And then if you like the speed lines, well, we'll give you the black and white version of that for a 1 in 250. Yeah, 1 in 250. I get it. Superman, big title, Summer Superman, etc. Big push from DC. I just don't think we need this many Superman titles. I mean, you already got action, you got Superman. That 2's enough. Well, we need 3. That said, more number 1s coming our way. Hulk and Doctor Strange, where Michael J. Straczynski giving us these weird mashups, tag teams that nobody asked for in these one-shots. But, okay, this one at least kind of makes sense. I mean, these 2 were Defenders together. So, Hulk and Doctor Strange. Cool. Dodson cover here. We got a B cover option as well. Not too bad. And then we got a C cover option, which made me think of Once in Future. Remember the kid with his grandma and the, what do you call it? King Arthur legend. I was getting that kind of vibe. But it's Aunt May with the sword. And we got Agatha Harkness. I don't know. What the hell's going on in this title. But there's also a 1 in 25 if you want that as well. So, cool. Kind of like that. It's kind of dark kind of vibe. Who is that? Is that? I can't remember who the artist is. Anyway, moving on. We're getting Spider-Man and Wolverine again. They've done this a few times, giving us just these weird mini-series or even ongoing series. Remember we had the Astonishing Spider-Man and Wolverine? I get it. Odd couple, team up, but we don't need so many of these. And stop tagging Spider-Man with everybody. I mean, he's going to have now he's with Wolverine. He's also with Miles in another book. And then he's been with Deadpool before. It's like, can we ease up on some of these? Just put 2 characters together and we're just going to make it a series. I don't know. Again, I'm complaining about having too many comics. It's just, I don't know. I just didn't ask for this. So I don't know if I need this right now. I do like Carrie Andrews' art. And I do like this throwback kind of vibe. I like it. But we got other options here as well. We got Bagley giving us a throwback. We got this is Clayton Crane, I think, doing this 3rd one. So yeah, we got that. There is a foil if you want to get a shiny foil version. Then we got a 1 in 25. If you like this 1 in 25, I think is by David Marquez. Pretty cool. Kind of like it. We got a Bradshaw, I think, giving us 1 in 50. And then we've got, we'll take of course, it's 1 in 100. So we're just going to take trade dress off of one of these. And that's going to be your 1 in 100. Thanks, Marvel. So again, up to you if you want to go grab it. It's just, I don't know. I just can't, these team up titles, they never do much for me. Vision and Scarlet Witch getting a 3rd volume. Yes, Vision and Scarlet Witch. I get it. We'll eventually get that Vision Quest show, whatever, on Disney Plus. Ain't here yet, but regardless, I guess following up on the Scarlet Witch series, which you got recently with Russell Dauterman, I guess we're getting this. Plus, it's the 50th anniversary of their wedding. 50 years. Jesus. Doesn't seem like it's that long, does it? Well, that's the case. Issue 1, cover A. There is a foil homage here. Remember this one? Is Avengers 360? I'll give it to you in case you don't remember it. But yeah, here you go. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, remember that like bronze crazy foil from back in the 90s? Cool. Fun callback. I really like this Stephanie Hans cover. I don't know. There's just something about the colors and the way, and I love the trade dress, how it blends, how it works with this. I don't know. I just like this cover. The 125 is all right, but Hans is my favorite out of this bunch. And then there is also a hidden gem 1 in 50 for you as well. But once again, Hans, it's the way to go. If you're picking this up, I might just get it just for the cover. And maybe I give it a taste test kind of read, but I don't want to have too many titles in the taste test. With that said, oversized books. So these are our magazines, our distillery, black label type stuff, anything that's outside the normal dimensions of a comic book. And this week, I don't have anything to point out for us to kind of keep an eye out for. I think there might be some stuff. Maybe we're going to Judge Dredd mag here or there, but sometimes those things always get delayed. I'm not sure when they're actually shipping and when they show up. So as far as I can tell, nothing to spotlight for this week. But let's move on to facsimiles. So with the facsimiles, we got a few. Not a ton, but we do got a few. Starting off with DC. Over on the DC side of things, we're getting the next installment of the original Batman Hush story. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Spawn first. Spawn 5. Because of the Shirley Johnson thing. Remember, I told you about that book, and you got Billy Kincaid. This tells that story in this issue. But I'll tell you a little secret. There's plenty of these out there. You could find this in a dollar box, most likely. That's right. You could probably find this in a dollar box. But if you want to buy the facsimile, go for it. So there is a facsimile of it. Cool. But here's that Batman Hush book. I thought we were going this way first. So 617, next installment of the original Hush storyline. Again, books you can find for less than this. If you really want them, get the originals. You don't need the facsimile. Unless you're really dead set on having them all in shiny foil. Because there is that option as well. Now, in the sense of something that makes more sense, we got the cool classic throwbacks with Sergeant Rock, Our Army at War. Okay, this makes more sense. This is not an easier book for us to track down, so a facsimile of this makes sense. Granted, I don't know if we need a shiny foil version, but there is a shiny foil version out there for $7 if you do want it. All right, another book that makes sense for them to be doing a facsimile right now. Fantastic Four 48. Yes, Galactus, Silver Surfer, they're coming. Fantastic Four First Steps. Cool. One of my favorite books. One of my favorite characters inside this book. I'm still annoyed by the fact that they're doing different cover art here. But honestly, I might just have to get this because of what title this is. Because this is FF48, I might have to get this different art on the facsimile 1 in 25. I like it. I'm a big fan of Galactus, but big fan of Silver Surfer. And like I said, this is one of my favorite books. So I might just, even though I don't like it, I don't like the idea of doing different art on a facsimile, I might just have to do it and go get this one. Not sure yet. Haven't made up my mind. With that said, later prints. So we do have some later prints to talk about, second printings, etc. Let's start off our later print conversation with, where do we want to go first? We want to go with, Absolute, because we got a lot of Absolute stuff here. So first up, if you want to play catch up, Absolute Flash #1 is coming out. Cool. You can buy this option or this option, because we have to have two. I'm sorry. No, we'll have three because we're going to make that one shiny too. So we're going to make a foil version of that as well. I don't know why we need three options for a second printing. and no incentives, which I don't know if that's a blessing or not, but yeah, there's 3 options here if you need it. Just pick which one you like. Same goes for Absolute Green Lantern. They're giving us 3 options as well in the same set of cover A, cover B, shiny foil if you want the shiny foil. So once again, you pick what you like. And let's go 3 for 3. Absolute Martian Manhunter #1 is also getting a second print. Cover A, cover B, and a shiny foil version. So once again, pick which one you like if you need to play catch up. All decent reads. I will say that. All 3 of those Absolute titles, much to my surprise, because I didn't want any of them, all 3 of them to start weren't bad. With that said, hey, Bitterroot's getting a second print. So if you need to catch up on Bitterroot, go grab your second print for #1. Same goes for Medieval Spawn #1. Second printing, black and white here, they decided to go with. Grab that if you need more Spawn. Amazing Spider-Man. Surprised it took this long to get the second print for issue 1 out. But here we go. We got issue 4. Oh, I'm sorry, because it comes out every 2 weeks. So it really isn't that far behind. But if you are far behind on reading, here's your second print for issue 1. And let's take a look at the 1 in 25, because we got to get an incentive, right? All right. It's fine. And then I will admit, I do like this cover. But at this point, so many covers, so many options. We are getting the 5th printing for Mark Spear's Monsters. But I will say, I do like this. I like the distressed look. I like the old pulp book to it. And just the art in and of itself that Mark did here. I dig it. I might pick this up, even though it's a 5th printing. And I don't really need all these printings, but I just kind of like this cover. So I might get this. Also considering, even though it's going to be a little expensive, there is a 1 in 20 incentive on this, because it is a fun throwback to Evil Dead 2. You guys, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, here, Evil Dead 2 movie poster. Yeah, it is kind of fun. It is kind of cool. I don't know. But with that said, 5th printing, Mark Spear's Monsters #1. This is your chance. If you haven't read it yet, go get it. All right, moving on. Variants. So we can wrap up the show so I can get this done. AAPI Heritage Month. This week, we have nothing for our Asian American Pacific Islander variant sets. So nothing to add to that set if you're building that set, as we got no new additions for this week out of DC. We do have 1 edition for their Superman Studios, the movie covers. So we got 1 of these to cover for this week. And it's a Jim Lee, I believe, actually. And it is this one right here. So you got Superman and Crypto. Cool. I believe that's on Superman Unlimited #1, because there weren't enough covers. Here's another one for you. Also, since it's Superman, the Summer of Superman, we're also getting these Super Smash Up variants where they're taking other DC characters and making them Superman, in the like of what they did with Batman back during the, Dark Knight's Metal stuff, where it had all the different Batman, which were actually other DC characters as Batman. So here we go. We got Wonder Woman as Superman on Wonder Woman #21. We'll get to her in that book a little bit later. Moving on, Marvel. Iconic variants by Todd Nauck. I don't believe we have any to add to this pile for this week, so we can skip through this section as well. Boom, none here. Moving on to the Impossible variants out of Marvel. These are the Impossible Man variants, and I didn't realize these were half and half, 2 different cover sets. So we are finishing up the first 5, because there were 10. Remember, I had the full list of 10. I just didn't realize they were going to be different. We had the first 5, which were homage covers, which will wrap up here with this final one on Iron Man 8. Impossible variant. Ron Lim giving us his throwback to, and it says after Addy Granoff. So after Granoff, I love when they give that credit. Here it is, the Extremist storyline. But Impossible Man popping in. Actually, speaking of popping in, those are the homage ones, the Impossible variants. The next set are actually him just popping in. So with that said, Amazing Spider-Man #4. So here's the regular cover A, which I showed you already. There will be a version with the Impossible Man. Oh, darn it. Oh, that's how I wanted it to go. Sorry for the transition, but you see, the Impossible Man just kind of worked into the cover, and the trade dress goes also green. That's the kind of fun thing they're doing, almost like when they do those sneaky variants that you might not have known that they were releasing. They're going to go in that angle with this. So, Impossible Man Variant Edition, starting up with 5 more of these. Well, not today. We got 2 more of these, but 5 in total. So, FF32, also getting the same treatment. This one's a little easier to catch. Oh, sorry for the transition. That's unnecessary, but there we go. It's a little easier to catch the big green guy right there in the middle. But there you go. Hulk. Here's another one where we're going to take this Hulk cover and we're going to add, sorry, extra transition, didn't need it. Impossible Man just kind of driving around, treating him like a little tractor. Cool. As I said, there we have the next jump set. We have 2 more pop-ups coming next week, and that'll be it for that set. Marvel Timeless. So, Marvel Timeless, this is the Alex Ross stuff. Those Alex Ross covers where he's giving us those timeless covers. Basically off of a poster that he's already provided and already painted. So with that, we've got a lot of these to cover. We've got Captain Marvel here on ASM number 4. Told you there's a lot more covers that we weren't covering because there's also a 1/100 version of it. The sketch. And then we've got Yellow Jacket here on the FF book. Also more covers than we need. And let's make a 1/100 sketch cover. Cool. Iron Man's got one here too. Can't get enough of these, right? 1/100. There you go. This one's on Hulk. Yep, Hulk. We've got the, looks like the Demon Etrigan. 1/100 option. I mentioned Moon Knight earlier. There is an incentive on Moon Knight. It's the 1/100, which is the black and white pencil sketch of this. And then we've got another cover for that Vision and Scarlet Witch number 1, where you got her brother, Pietro, and a sketch version for the 1/100. Big chunk drop this week. 2 more coming to wrap that up for the month. But before we wrap up today, we've got cheesecake covers. And we only got a few because I decided to revamp how I do this. So, moving some things around, shifting some things around. Here we go with the cheesecake covers for this week. We're going to start off with the Grimm Fairy Tales stuff, specifically Grimm Fairy Tales number 96. So we got that done. Cover A. We got a cover B if you want to go that route. There is a cover C if you like that. And then there is a cover D option here as well, which we will also make our risque version, the 1/20. So we'll just, not much of a change, but there is a 1/20 with that slight coloring and slight removal of not much. But you saw it. There's your 1/20. Going over to Dynamite now for the last bit. Barbarella. Linsner. Pretty cool. Classic sci-fi. Kind of dig it. That's the A. There's a B. Not too bad there. C. Also solid option here. Cosplay. If you want to go the cosplay route for here. I'm not a big Barbarella fan, but if you like these, there's options for you, as well as a 1/7, which will have new cover art as well. Vampirilla, also a bunch of covers here. Lucio Perillo, dig it. Always like these. We do have another option here with Greg Land, so you pick that. But going back to that Perillo, there will be a black bag version with Naughty Bits shown. So if you want to go that route, you can get the Naughty Bits shown, like they did on the first cover of the first issue. You can get that. We will also have a Jenny Frison here, which is gorgeous. Going back to the classic stuff, she's done not plenty, but she's done a few Vampirilla covers that have been good. This is another one. Can't complain there. And then another great cover on this title. It's got kind of a Planet Comics kind of vibe, right? A little bit of the Dirty Pair on the bike. I think this is Elias Cody. I want to say Elias Codius, but I think he's isn't that Casey Jones from the original Turtle movies? Cheddar. I can't pronounce his name. It's just too many. There's too many letters. If you got it, put it in the comments down below phonetically to help me out. Cosplay cover option as well. So if you want to go cosplay, you got that. And then we do have a Spears cover here as well. So Spears giving us a throwback to that Mary Jane cover, an homage to that Mary Jane cover, but now featuring Vampirilla. And again, all of these covers will have multiple versions. Shiny foils and virgin versions, recolored and metals, etc. Way too many. But another solid one. This 1/7. This Jay Salado, number 7. These are all really, there's 3 really good ones in my opinion on this title. But It is what it is. So get whatever one you like if you want to get your Vampirilla title. So now we're going to wrap up with covers. These are just covers that I like. And like I said, some titles here may normally have been in the cheesecake, but I felt like I was stretching it, just putting all of the Harley books in there. And some of the covers weren't, even Poison Ivy wise, they weren't really cheesecake, but I kept putting them in there. So I decided to just pull them out. We'll do them right after and do them as part of covers. So one of those other titles I had in there was Catwoman, because, yeah, this is a pretty cool Sebastian Fiumara cover. It's not really cheesecake, though, but it is a good cover. And all of the covers on this book are pretty solid, including the Frank Cho on the beat, as is the In Hyuk Lee, which is more the cheesecakey angle, but In Hyuk Lee here on the C cover. And I like the Forbes 1 in 25 option here as well. Really cool. And then we'll take that Cho, bring that back, and that will be our 1 in 50 when we take not much off of it and make that the Virgin 1 in 50. I mentioned Wonder Woman would be coming back. Here's Wonder Woman 21. Because, again, this isn't really a cheesecake cover, even though I kept putting Wonder Woman in that section because she's a female character, I guess. And there'd be like one cover that fit. So here we go. This is her and Batman. Classic stuff. Daniel Sampere? Sampere? Is that how you say it? Pretty good. David Nakayama. Classic team up here. Gilliam March ain't bad as well. I kind of dig it. And then we do have a 1 in 25 by Lucas Mayer. So grab whichever one you like if you're into that. Let's go on over to Todd's stuff. More Deadly Gunslinger Spawn stuff. And here we go. We got Deadly Gunslinger Spawn issues, or Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger issue 6. But Jonathan Uribe. And I look at this cover and I can only think of that bit from Hot Fuzz when he's like, you ever fire 2 guns while jumping through the air?
You ever fired 2 guns whilst jumping through the air? No.
Yeah, that's all I can think of while I'm looking at this. But we do have a B cover, which is pretty good too. Tipping the cap kind of thing. Marco Fala? Yeah, I'm going to not read the names. The names are on the screen in case you want to know who the artist is. I'm butchering them as I'm trying to read them. Medieval Spawn number 2, Bjorn Barons. And we go back to Uribe with an option here. Both of these are pretty solid, in my opinion. Even though I'm not really reading Medieval Spawn, they're both pretty cool covers, I got to admit. But are they the best of the week? Because that's what we got next. And in the final segment, best of the week, I'll tell you what my favorites are. And my favorites are these 2 books. First, starting off with the incentives. I mentioned it during the show. Just that Nightwing. The Nightwing graffiti on the wall. Awesome. I just really like it. I think I'm going to have to go buy one. Vasco Georgiev, 1 in 25. Solid stuff. And hemming and hawing and debating. There's a lot of good options here. I thought about the Black Widow, Ivan Talavera. I thought about the Jenny Frizen. I thought about the other Vampy book, but the Epitaphs from the Abyss, the Lee Bermejo, just did it this week. I thought it just perfectly captured that old school vibe, but it's still new school art. I liked it. I don't know. So I think this one is my favorite of the week. Epitaphs from the Abyss, the cover A on that number 11. And that is our show for today. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and hopefully you found that stuff informational and helpful. So thank you for all the support. We got plenty more shows coming your way in the next, every week as we normally do. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. And I will see you all later with some more content. All right. Bye.